Hey, book nerds, welcome to my channel. My name is Amanda, and this is where we get to talk about all things bookish. Today, I thought I would just spend a few minutes and talk to you about my Kindle. I'm just going to take a couple of minutes and go through some of the ways that I personalize my Kindle. If you are a Kindle user, if you like to use your Kindle to read books, then these are just a couple of fun ways that you can personalize it for you to maybe enhance your reading experience. So let's get into it. So the first thing we have is the cover. Obviously, I like to have a cover on my Kindle. I don't like carrying it around just bare. I like to protect it. I did, spend a lot of money on it, so I do want to protect it. I do put a cover on it. The thing that I like about my cover is number one, it is a clear back, and I'll tell you why that's important in just a minute. But the back of it is just clear. And then the front of it, and there's all kinds of different ones you can get. There's about 3 million different Kindle covers that you can get. Just make sure that it fits your particular Kindle. And then the front of it, I just got black. It's kind of a black glittery one. You can't really tell because I put stickers on the front of mine, which again, you don't have to, but it's just another way to personalize your case. But the clear backing is what I was looking for. And the reason for that is that I like to get these Kindle inserts. I get them from Etsy. I will link her store in the description so that you can go and look at them. But these are just fun Kindle inserts that you put in your clear case, and it just kind of gives a little extra something to your Kindle cover. Now, the one I happen to have in mine right now is kind of a sticker collage, a spooky one, but she has a whole bunch of different ones that you can get. She has different tropes, she has different genres. She has, here's another kind of sticker one. She has seasonal ones. She has, this one's a Dungeon and Dragons themed one. This one has little dragons and ghosties on it. I have a lot of them. I've ordered quite a few over the last, I guess it would be over the last year or so. And that's one of my favorites too. But she has a whole bunch of them, and you can customize the color. You can customize if you want it to be holographic or not. You can customize a lot of different things about it. And so you can really personalize these cover inserts to how you like it. I tend to get, I tend to not go as flashy. I don't tend to do holographic things. I like her sticker collages a lot, and you can get them on glossy paper or on matte. Like I said, there's a lot of different ways that you can customize these, but I do like her sticker collection or collages. Um, but you just slide them right into your Kindle cover, and because I have a clear one, which is important, it shows through on the back. So again, that I get those from Etsy, and I'll link that for you down below so you can look at her very varied. She has a lot of different variety. You can look at her varied offerings. So the next thing that we have for the Kindle are these little plug protectors. Plug protectors? I'm not exactly sure what they're called. They come in little boxes, so you get quite a few. I got these on Amazon, and I got one package that is more of a kind of romance reader package. And so all of my plug protectors kind of are in that space. And then I got another one that is more spooky, more Halloween centered. And so kind of is more focused on that space, has a little ghost reading. This one has a little ghost in a pumpkin. And so you can get these in all different, again, kind of genres, tropes, all different seasonal. You can get these in all different things. Amazon has a whole bunch of them. And the ends of them are made so that they just fit right into your Kindle plug, right into that space right there. And then it prevents dust and other things from getting in there, getting sticky, getting yucky, whatever. I will say one thing I have found with these is that the plug is sometimes really difficult to get into the port. And so you kind of have to push a little bit harder than I would like in order for it to seat fully. And so I don't necessarily know that I like that. I feel like I'm pushing unnecessarily hard sometimes to get these to seat into the port. And then the other thing I will tell you is that these little things have plastic protectors. So you need to make sure that you're peeling them off, not only the front, but also the back. And you'll notice when you do that, the acrylic that they're on will be much clearer, much shinier, and they will look much nicer. I used these for a while and didn't realize that they had plastic on them, which I mean, I didn't really notice all that much, but once I took the plastic off of them, they looked much better. So there's that. Then we have my charm chain that I put on the back of my Kindle. So I got a pack of these. These are heart shaped, but they have different shapes that you can get, and these are mixed metal. So this has gold, silver, and rose gold. And these were on Amazon. They were very inexpensive. I can put the link in the description below, but they just have a sticker back. And so I just got a package of these. And you just take the backing off and you just stick it right on the clear plastic case. And then this right here is a keychain. And the reason I do this, you don't necessarily have to use the keychain if you don't want to. You can just put the link chain directly onto the hook if you want to. But I just do it this way. Hold, please. It's right up against my throat. Hopefully you can still hear me. The reason I do it this way with the keychain is because it has its own hook, and I can remove these really quickly and easily. It swivels, and it just makes it easier to put these on and take these off very quickly. So right now I have a football one because it's football season and we're big football fans here. So right now I have a football one on here, but I do want to change that to Valentine's Day because it's coming up. So I am going to change out my charm chain. But I just got a whole bunch of different charms off of Temu. Very inexpensive. They have all different kinds of charms you can get. And then you can also get a spool of chain. Just make sure that whatever chain that you get, it isn't small. So you want to make sure that your chain link is at least big enough that it can hold your charm. You don't want it so small that you can't fit your jump ring, that it won't fit into your chain. So you want to make sure you at least get something that's big enough that your jump ring will fit in and be able to close in. And so I just use 2 pair of pliers, a couple of jump rings. Usually the charms will come with a jump ring already attached to it. Some do, some don't, but most of them do. And then I just attach it to the chain. I attach it to the keychain swivel, and then that attaches to my little sticker hook here. And that's how I make my charm chains. You can get the charm chains on Amazon already pre-done. You don't have to get the parts and make them yourself. They already have pre-done ones, but because I like to change mine so often, I don't have the funds to be able to do that. And so I just decided I was going to make them myself. I also have one on the back of my phone. And so it would just be too cost prohibitive for me to just keep buying new ones that are already made when I can make them just as easily myself and be able to do that fairly cheap. The next thing I have is my Kindle itself. I have a personalized screensaver. And you can see on here that it just has a simple picture of a bookshelf and a woman reading, and it just says Amanda's Kindle. Now, you do have to have the setting available in your Kindle that shows book covers when the Kindle is off. In other words, when you are not reading, when the Kindle is sleeping, you want that setting turned on in your settings, available. Some of them don't have this feature available, but if that setting is available on your Kindle, you want it turned on so that your book covers are shown when the Kindle is asleep. That needs to be turned on. And then there are several steps. I'm going to have all the information you need on how to do this in the description below. There are plenty of YouTube videos you can watch on people actually doing this on their computer. I just YouTubed it, and I just looked it up and YouTubed it and followed the directions. It's fairly simple, but there are several steps that you have to take, and you have to be familiar with Canva, because that is, you want to create your screen saver, which is actually, you're just making a book cover is what you're doing. You do create that in Canva. And then you also have to have the send to Kindle set up in your Amazon account. I'll have all the information. I'll have links to the YouTube videos that I watched on how to do this. As I said, it's not hard. It's just there are several steps involved. But you can have your own screensaver, and you can make this whatever you want. It doesn't necessarily have to say, your Kindle or whatever. You could do whatever you wanted, whatever you create in Canva. You can have that as your saver, your screensaver. It's actually a book cover. The only thing I will tell you about this, and it's kind of a pain in the butt, but this is Amazon's fault, is that when you are reading a book, after you are done reading that book, you have to navigate back to your library and choose this book cover before putting it to sleep. Otherwise, if you don't do that, you just put your Kindle to sleep and then open it up the next time you're going to read, it's not going to show this. It's going to show the book cover of the book that you were previously reading, right? So you do have to do that. You do have to constantly swap back and forth. Every time you're done reading, you have to go to the library and you have to choose this book cover, this book, and click it and push it so that it's what is going to be displayed when your Kindle goes to sleep. And then when you open it back up and you're ready to read, you're in your library and you have to go and select the book that you were reading. So it is extra steps, which is circumventing the way that Amazon makes this work, which I understand it's convenient, but at the same time, you're kind of doing this as a hack or a workaround. So it is extra steps. So just be aware of that. And then the last thing that I have that kind of makes my reading experience is I have several different fonts that I am able to read my books in. So let me get to a book. You can see that I have a very different font than what you would normally have on your Kindle. And normally on a Kindle, I believe you have 4 or 5. I can't remember now. You have 4 or 5 default fonts. And they're like Comic Sans. They're like the very basic fonts that like everybody reads in. And then you can adjust the size of it. You can adjust the boldness of it, whether it's lighter or darker. There's a lot of different settings that you can adjust within your Kindle. However, you can add your own fonts, as many fonts as you want. And I will link this information as well in the description so that you can see how to do this. If you are at all familiar with fonts, if fonts is one of your hobbies, if you love fonts, then this will be simple for you. You are just going to plug your Kindle into your computer, and it's going to open up the file, your internal Kindle file. And you're just going to double click on that file, which is going to open up the contents of your Kindle. And one of those content files is going to say fonts. If you open up that file, it's going to have the 4 or 5, whatever it is, default fonts listed. All you're going to do at that point is go to, I think it's DeFonts or whatever website, wherever you get your fonts, your custom fonts. And you're just going to download whatever font you want. And then you're just going to drag and drop the fonts that you want inside of this fonts internal folder. Just make sure that when you are doing this, you're not dragging and dropping the zipped file of the font. Make sure you're extracting all the files and you're only moving over the actual font itself, not any of the zipped folder, not any of the readme stuff. It's just the font file itself. That goes into your folder. Once you have all the fonts that you want in that folder, you're going to exit out of your internal contents of your Kindle, unplug it, and then you may have to restart your Kindle. I didn't, but again, everyone's thing is different. And so you may have to restart it. However, once it's all restarted and you're back into it, you can open up one of your books, go to your settings, go to your fonts, and then all of your new fonts should be listed. And you can now manipulate your new fonts with your text size, your bold, and you can really personalize how how you are reading, which makes it lots of fun because I know that there are some people that like to read like in the blocky, boldy, like sans serif type fonts. But for me, it seems to ease my eye strain when I am not reading font like that. This has a lot more gentle curves and a lot more, I wouldn't say it's curly Q necessarily, but it's not as blocky or as harsh. And this tends to ease my eyes for whatever reason. And this makes it a lot easier for me to read. So if you're a fonts person and that's something that you would enjoy on your Kindle, then that's how to do it. Again, I will have a lot of information for you on step by step on how to do these things. It's not hard. It just, you have to take the steps to do it, because Amazon is not very user friendly. They just kind of want you to use what they give you and not complain about it. You get what you get and you don't throw a fit, if you know what I mean. But there are ways to make your Kindle more personal to you so that your reading experience is yours. And these are just a few ways that I have done it to my Kindle. And so hopefully that's helpful for you. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I'm happy to do what I can. And hopefully your reading journey will be that much more enjoyable. So until next time, bye.